NFPA 79, which stands for Electrical Standard for Industrial Machinery, isn't directly enforced by OSHA. However, it's widely recognized as an industry best practice. This means that although OSHA doesn't explicitly police NFPA 79 compliance, it can be cited as a reference during OSHA compliance inspections. It's important to understand how OSHA standards themselves reference NFPA 79. For example, OSHA 29 CFR 1910.219 states that machines shall be equipped with guards in accordance with the requirements of the American National Standards Institute, abbreviated ANSI, and the National Electrical Code, known as NFPA 70. Another example is OSHA 29 CFR 1910.303, which requires that motors be protected by fuses, circuit breakers, or other protective devices in accordance with NFPA 70 or other approved standards. So, while not directly enforced, NFPA 79 is intertwined with OSHA's requirements. Beyond OSHA, other agencies may enforce NFPA 79 in certain jurisdictions. For instance, the National Board of Fire Underwriters, abbreviated NBFU, uses NFPA 79 as a guideline when conducting insurance risk assessments. In addition, some local building codes might incorporate NFPA 79 by referencing it directly. Given this landscape, how can one effectively justify funding for implementing NFPA 79 standards? It comes down to highlighting the multifaceted benefit. Firstly, consider safety and compliance. NFPA 79 demonstrably helps protect workers from electrical hazards. By adhering to NFPA 79, organizations ensure compliance with industry best practices. Secondly, there is risk reduction. Implementing NFPA 79 significantly reduces the risk of accidents, injuries, and potential equipment damage. Thirdly, compliance with NFPA 79 may lead to lower insurance premiums because it demonstrates commitment to safety standards. Fourthly, a safe and compliant workplace, which NFPA 79 helps foster, can improve employee morale and consequently increase productivity. When preparing a funding request, assembling comprehensive documentation is critical. Firstly, gather all relevant OSHA standards that specifically reference NFPA 79. This demonstrates the connection, however indirect, between NFPA 79 and legally enforceable regulations. Secondly, include detailed risk assessment reports. These reports should clearly outline the potential benefits of implementing NFPA 79, quantifying the reduction in risk. Thirdly, collect quotes from vendors and manufacturers that detail the costs associated with procuring and installing the necessary safety devices. Fourthly, include data from past accidents or incidents, especially those related to electrical hazards. This provides concrete evidence of the potential consequences of non-compliance. Fifthly, seek statements from insurance consultants that explain how NFPA 79 compliance can impact insurance premiums. These statements add a financial incentive to the argument for implementation. To summarize, while OSHA doesn't directly enforce NFPA 79, it is a valuable resource. It ensures workplace safety and compliance. By thoroughly documenting the benefits and risks, securing funding for implementation becomes more attainable. NFPA 79 provides guidelines for the proper selection, installation, and maintenance of electrical equipment used in industrial machinery. These guidelines cover a wide range of topics, including wiring methods, grounding, overcurrent protection, control circuits, and operator interface devices. Following these guidelines helps to minimize the risk of electrical shock, fire, and other hazards. OSHA standards related to electrical safety, such as those found in 29 CFR 1910. Subpart S, aim to protect employees from electrical hazards in the workplace. While these standards may not explicitly mention NFPA 79 in every instance, they often reference other consensus standards, like NFPA 70, the National Electrical Code. NFPA 79 builds upon the principles outlined in NFPA 70, tailoring them specifically to the unique challenges presented by industrial machinery. A risk assessment involves systematically identifying and evaluating potential hazards associated with industrial machinery. This assessment should consider factors such as the type of equipment, the operating environment, the tasks performed by workers, and the potential consequences of an electrical failure. By conducting a thorough risk assessment, organizations can identify areas where NFPA 79 compliance is most critical. Implementing NFPA 79 standards can significantly reduce the risk of electrical accidents and injuries. For instance, proper grounding and bonding techniques can minimize the risk of electrical shock. Overcurrent protection devices, like circuit breakers and fuses, can prevent equipment damage and fires caused by short circuits or overloads. Safety interlocks and emergency stop devices can quickly shut down machinery in the event of a malfunction, protecting workers from harm. Insurance companies often consider an organization's adherence to safety standards when determining insurance premiums. By demonstrating compliance with NFPA 79, organizations may be able to negotiate lower premiums. This is because insurance companies recognize that a safe workplace is less likely to experience accidents and claims. A safe and compliant workplace can improve employee morale and productivity. When workers feel safe and protected, they are more likely to be engaged and productive. Implementing NFPA 79 standards can create a more positive work environment. This results in increased efficiency and reduced downtime. To effectively advocate for funding, gather documentation that supports the need for NFPA 79 implementation. This documentation should include relevant OSHA standards, risk assessment reports, cost estimates, accident data, and insurance statements. Presenting a well-documented case will increase the likelihood of securing the necessary resources. NFPA 79 covers a variety of safety-related control functions, including emergency stop circuits, control reliability, and safety interlocks. These functions are designed to protect workers from hazards associated with machinery operation. It also provides guidance on the design and implementation of these control functions. This helps ensure that they function reliably and effectively. Control reliability refers to the ability of a safety-related control system to perform its intended function, even in the presence of faults or failures. NFPA 79 addresses control reliability by requiring the use of redundant components, fault detection, and diagnostic features. It helps to minimize the risk of a control system failure. Emergency stop circuits are designed to quickly shut down machinery in the event of an emergency. NFPA 79 provides requirements for the design and performance of emergency stop circuits. It ensures that they are readily accessible and effective in stopping the machine. Safety interlocks are used to prevent machinery from operating when a guard or access door is open. NFPA 79 provides guidelines for the design and installation of safety interlocks. It ensures that they are properly integrated into the machine's control system. When selecting safety devices for industrial machinery, it is important to choose devices that are appropriate for the application and that meet the requirements of NFPA 79. This includes considering the device's performance characteristics, environmental ratings, and certification status. It is important to ensure that safety devices are properly installed and maintained. Regular inspections and testing should be conducted to verify that the devices are functioning correctly. Any problems or malfunctions should be addressed promptly. To effectively implement NFPA 79, it is essential to provide training to employees who work with industrial machinery. This training should cover the hazards associated with machinery operation, the requirements of NFPA 79, and the proper use of safety devices. It is crucial to keep abreast of the latest revisions and updates to NFPA 79. The standard is periodically updated to reflect changes in technology and best practices. Staying informed ensures that your organization's safety practices remain current. Compliance with NFPA 79 is not only a matter of safety but also a matter of legal and ethical responsibility. Organizations have a duty to protect their employees from harm and to comply with applicable safety regulations. Implementing NFPA 79 demonstrates a commitment to these principles. In addition to the specific requirements outlined in NFPA 79, it is important to adopt a comprehensive safety management system. This system should include policies, procedures, and training programs. It promotes a culture of safety throughout the organization. When evaluating the costs of implementing NFPA 79, it is important to consider the long-term benefits. These benefits include reduced accidents, lower insurance premiums, and increased productivity. By taking a holistic approach to safety, organizations can create a safer and more productive work environment. To ensure the ongoing effectiveness of your NFPA 79 implementation efforts, it is important to conduct regular audits and assessments. These audits should identify areas where improvements can be made and should track progress over time. By continuously monitoring and improving your safety practices, you can create a sustainable safety culture. NFPA 79 addresses the requirements for wiring industrial machines, including wire types, sizing, and routing. It describes that all conductors must be appropriately sized for the intended current they will carry, in accordance with the National Electrical Code, NFPA 70. Proper wire sizing prevents overheating and potential fire hazards. NFPA 79 mandates specific wire types based on the application and environment. For example, oil-resistant wire is required in areas where exposure to oil is likely. Wiring must be protected from physical damage using appropriate methods like conduit or cable trace. This prevents damage that could lead to electrical faults. Grounding is a critical safety measure to prevent electrical shock. NFPA 79 outlines requirements for grounding industrial machinery. All metal parts of the machine that could become energized must be properly grounded. The grounding conductor must be sized appropriately to handle fault currents. Grounding connections must be secure and reliable. Overcurrent protection devices like circuit breakers and fuses protect equipment from damage due to overloads or short circuits. NFPA 79 dictates requirements for overcurrent protection. Overcurrent protection must be coordinated to ensure that only the faulted circuit is opened. Circuit breakers and fuses must be rated appropriately for the circuit they protect. Control circuits are used to control the operation of the machine. NFPA 79 addresses the safety of control circuits. Control circuits must be designed to prevent unintended start-up of the machine. Safety interlocks must be used to prevent operation of the machine when guards are open. Emergency stop buttons must be readily accessible to quickly shut down the machine in case of an emergency. The operator interface is the means by which the operator interacts with the machine. NFPA 79 addresses the safety of the operator interface. Controls must be clearly labeled and easy to understand. Emergency stop buttons must be prominently displayed and easily accessible. The operator interface should be designed to minimize the risk of errors. Lockout-tagout procedures are essential for safely servicing and maintaining industrial machinery. NFPA 79 references lockout-tagout procedures. Machines must be de-energized and locked out before any maintenance or repair work is performed. Lockout devices must be applied by authorized personnel only. Tagout devices must be used to warn others that the machine is de-energized. Regular inspections are crucial for identifying and correcting potential hazards. NFPA 79 emphasizes the importance of regular inspections. Machines should be inspected regularly for signs of damage or wear. Electrical connections should be checked for tightness and corrosion. Safety devices should be tested to ensure they are functioning properly. Proper maintenance is essential for ensuring the safe and reliable operation of industrial machinery. NFPA 79 highlights the need for proper maintenance. Machines should be maintained in accordance with the manufacturer's recommendations. Electrical components should be replaced as needed. Lubrication should be performed on a regular basis. Documentation is vital for demonstrating compliance with NFPA 79 and for supporting funding requests. Comprehensive documentation is essential. Maintain records of all inspections, maintenance, and repairs. Keep copies of all relevant safety standards and regulations. Document all risk assessments and hazard analyses. NFPA 79 compliance often necessitates upgrades to existing machinery. Justify funding for these upgrades. Identify specific areas where the machinery does not meet NFPA 79 requirements. Obtain quotes for the necessary upgrades. Highlight the safety benefits of the upgrades. When selecting vendors and contractors for NFPA 79 implementation, it is important to choose qualified and experienced professionals. Verify that the vendors and contractors are familiar with NFPA 79 requirements. Check their references and certifications. Ensure that they have a proven track record of successful installations. It is important to establish clear lines of communication and responsibility when implementing NFPA 79. Assign specific individuals to be responsible for different aspects of the project. Conduct regular meetings to track progress and resolve issues. Ensure that all stakeholders are informed of their roles and responsibilities. In some cases, it may be necessary to seek expert advice on NFPA 79 compliance. Consult with qualified electrical engineers or safety consultants. Obtain a professional assessment of your machinery and equipment. Develop a plan to address any identified deficiencies. NFPA 79 provides a framework for ensuring the safety of industrial machinery. By understanding the requirements of NFPA 79 and implementing appropriate safety measures, organizations can protect their employees from electrical hazards and create a safer work environment. Remember that NFPA 79 is not a substitute for sound engineering judgment. It is important to consider the specific characteristics of your machinery and equipment when implementing safety measures. The ultimate goal is to create a safe and reliable work environment for all employees. A well-documented and consistently applied safety program demonstrates a commitment to employee well-being and can contribute to a more productive and efficient workplace.